Is it playing?
Is it acting?
That was a bit much.
Wait, let me wipe my glasses.
What the f? Alright guys, we're here today to do a Club Loose tech inspection video. And Carl doesn't know it yet, but we're gonna do his car. We're gonna tech inspect. It's ready, right? Okay, we're gonna find out. Alright, well first things first, we gotta read this. So.
Yeah. No, yeah, but I don't know if it's ready, realistically.
Driver requirements, closed face helmet. You have a closed face helmet?
Yes, I do.
You have it with you?
No.
Okay. Well, this is the 2020 rule book. The last revision was in January 2020. I don't know if... This is the newest one. This is the one I got off their website, so... it says SA 2015 or SA 2020 rating is required.
It's 2020 now.
It's 2020, right?
Yeah, now it is, because it's every 10 years, so... I think, right? Let us know in the comments if it's actually not. No, every 10 years is what it is.
But it's not 2025 yet.
But it passed 2020 already. Let us know in the comments.
No, it's just if you're getting a helmet, get an SA 2020.
Look for an SA 2020.
All right,
you'll save yourself some money. You can use it for a lot longer.
Now wait, there's more.
There's always more.
Train, dude.
I'm good with the sound effects, yeah. Whatever you say.
Okay. Exceptions. New Jersey, there is no exception. This is the rule. You need an SA 2020 full face helmet. Make sure you got one, because if you don't have one, guess what? You just failed. You just paid all that money for nothing.
And I've done that before.
He's done it.
I had an open face helmet.
And what'd you do? You went there?
I went home.
You went home.
Because I didn't have a helmet.
Bummer.
It
all
sucked.
Right. If you're in Club Loose 2, which is, what, Pennsylvania or Ohio? Somewhere around there? You would think I would know this shit by now.
I don't know.
Open face is allowed. You can use the open face.
That's what I'm saying is, yeah, there's a lot of other places that will allow it.
Texas. Club Loose, Texas. Open face, allowed.
There's a Club Loose in Texas?
Yes. Club Loose, Ireland. Open face, allowed.
Ireland.
Yeah, you didn't know that shit.
Dublin.
Okay. All drivers required to wear long pants, closed shoe toes, and sleeve shirts. Like, this guy's gonna fail right now.
Failing.
If he walks up there like that, you just failed.
No.
Look at the shoes. They're untied. This guy's failing. Me? I'm tied as shit. I'm passing tech.
Look at this. Shirt, pants.
And they're gonna be stoked because I'm wearing all black.
Yeah.
Drivers must be 17 years or older and possess a valid driver's license. If under 18, parent or legal guardian must be there. Drivers' meetings are mandatory. If you do not attend the driver's meeting, you will not be going on the track today.
Nope.
All cars must be teched and approved prior to going on the track. I feel like that's common knowledge. Common sense is required. Rule number 6.
Common sense.
If you don't have common sense, that's going to be a problem because that can't be learned.
Where do I get that?
Or bought.
Where do I find
7. Number 7. This is a problem you have. Number 7. No whining.
Oh.
Yeah. So no whining. So that's driver requirements. We're not going to dive into the on-track and pit guidelines. That's something you guys gotta look this up. Look up the rule book. Go through that. They have a whole section on here. This tells you about the flags, track etiquette, what you should and shouldn't do. That's that.
Which will also be explained in the driver's meeting.
Yeah, well, you should read it anyway.
You should give it a glance over for sure.
Next part of the rule book, driver groups explained. That's gonna be another video, separate video. If you don't know what group you're in, it's C group. I'm in C group. If you don't know what group you're in C group.
I'm in C group.
That's all that matters. Here we go. Vehicle requirements. Oh god. The moment you've all been waiting.
Literally number 1, no IS 300s.
Are you done? I shouldn't have brought this guy here. All right. General safety. General vehicle inspection may include inspections of brakes, suspension, engine, drivetrain, and chassis for proper orientation, operation, condition, and potential issues. Everything loose in car must be removed. Please. This is important. Listen to this. Everything loose in the car must be removed. This includes trash, tools, parts, anything else that might be floating around in the car. Dispose of all trash in track-provided garbage cans. Let's go take a look.
Stop. No. Let me just disclaimer everybody, okay? This is my daily. I have been driving it for a while. Okay.
What do you got in here?
A lot.
Nice.
A lot.
Cool. So a wrench flying around on the ground? Not good. PB blaster? Not good. This can get stuck under your brake pedal.
You never know what's gonna be in there.
Glove. What do you...
Never know when you're gonna... No glove, no love.
Okay. So don't be like Carl. Clean out the interior. Next,
You don't even want to see what's
fire extinguishers are required for all cars.
Go peep it on the other side.
Go peep it, he said. Watch that camera.
I don't like a lot of people like to mount them by the floor or behind you. I like it on this trans tunnel area because you can reach over and grab it without you turning around. You have a fixed back bucket seat. It's hard to turn around and grab a fire extinguisher. So I like it right there.
So everything loose in the car, fail. Fire extinguisher, pass.
Yay!
He's got a fire extinguisher.
We got one, baby.
What are the rules? Extinguishers must have a gauge, and gauge will be checked before every
It has
event.
to be valid. Like you can't put okay. If you're putting a bunk fire extinguisher in your car,
Stop trying to make bunk
just
work,
so you
Carl.
can pass tech. There's some issues there. That takes more work than going out and getting a fire extinguisher. Get a good one. Get a fire.
Yeah, if you don't have any track experience, let me just explain to you right off the bat. You're gonna need that fire extinguisher, and you're gonna need it.
Point in case clean culture.
There's so many events where my car caught fire, and
Really?
yeah. Well, at least
Well, that most recent one at Clean Culture, a GTR lit on fire, and it took like a little while.
that's not a track day. That's a.
Yeah, but all of these
two-step
high-powered cars, you're telling me no one has a fire extinguisher?
You need that fire extinguisher. It's a good idea. Make sure it's right. Must be securely mounted using a metal bracket.
Metal bracket. I
Metal.
love me the metal bracket.
They like to see metal brackets, guys. This isn't 2015 anymore. All right, engine and drivetrain. Let's pop the hood on this baby.
Oh God.
Pop the hood.
Nope. Hold on. It's a process. Hold on.
Wait, there's a whole process?
So you get the hood prop from the trunk,
Oh my God.
and then you yank on this really hard.
Okay. Buddy. Here we go. Number 1, no fluids can be leaking or dripping from the car.
No
if
fluids.
signs of fluid are present, evidence must be shown that leak no longer exists. So you got to become a attorney. So just make sure it's not leaking.
It can't be wet. If you're drifting around and you got a leaky head gasket or like a leaky valve cover gasket, I just did all of that stuff, so we're okay for now. For now.
Any leaks in here?
Nope. Look, it was on the alignment rack just now, and Faction, if you've been here, is a very, very clean shop.
So check the floor.
Hasn't been any oil over there, not a drop.
Okay, you pass.
Woohoo! That's
Number 2,
baby.
heat shield required around the brake and clutch master cylinders for any car with the exhaust side of the engine on the same side as the driver.
2JZ GE, God's engine, boom. Intake manifold on this side, no need for that.
No need for a heat shield because the intake is on this side, the exhaust is on this side. Yeah, so he doesn't need a heat shield. We will show you another car that needs a heat shield. We will show you a 240 after we fail him for tech. Coolant overflow required on all cars. Oil overflow required on cars which have removed or modified OE oil recovery system. That does not apply to this.
OEM.
But you need an overflow tank.
OEM.
It's got an OEM. Oh God, where does that go?
That goes, that's like that.
That's factory?
Yeah.
Okay. Pass. Gas cap must be present and completely sealed. Is it?
Yep.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
Firewall required for all fuel system components inside the driver's compartment. Basically, if you have a fuel cell or something in the back of your car, you need a firewall. You need to build one
Around it?
between you and the
And
fuel
the
cell.
fuel cell.
Yeah.
So like
that way when your
cabin.
shitty fuel cell that you installed blows up, you don't die. Stainless steel braided lines can pass through driver's compartment, but all fittings and unions must be behind the firewall or shielded. So basically, yeah, if you have a fuel cell or something, you better read this. You better be on your shit because they fail people for that. I've seen it. Number 5, all fluid hoses must be the proper hose to use for the install application and purpose. Hose must have correct material and construction. Rubber hose should show no sign of weak wear or weak spots. All fuel hoses must use fuel line clamps, not worm clamps.
Not worm clamps.
But basically, if you have a rubber fuel line going to a hard line or a fuel rail or anything, it's got to be a fuel line clamp, not a hose clamp. We will go more into detail on that after
It's
this.
like the little one, it looks different than a hose clamp.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a worm clamp, it doesn't have like a little band on it.
We have them, so we'll show them.
Frankie will show you guys.
Fuel injected vehicles require hose that is rated and marked SAE J30R9.
30R9.
We have that too, so we'll go through that as well.
Do you guys sell those in-house?
Yes, sir.
Check it out.
All right. Number 6, any coolant or oil lines passing through the car must be protected from contact by the driver or passenger. You gotta make sure they're not leaking, and firewall around the lines and connections is recommended. So if you have any coolant lines passing through the car because you have a rear-mounted radiator or anything like that, that rule applies to you. So that's number 6 in engine and drivetrain. Just take another look at that, make sure you're good. Number 7, exhaust must be present and exit outside of the body or past the rear axle of the car. 95 decibel limit.
Wait a minute. Now wait a minute. I didn't even know that was on there because I know a lot of cars,
newish.
350Zs,
Yeah.
that are loud.
With the trumpet.
With the trumpet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
95 decibels, guy.
Yeah, make sure you got mufflers on those things.
If it's quieter, I'm telling you, you're gonna enjoy it more anyway. Like you're gonna be able to like.
Well, they might not enjoy it more, but
breathe.
everyone they know will enjoy it.
Here.
Yeah.
And not terrorize society. All right, next one.
And Hector won't fail you. 'Cause Hector will fail you if you rip by grid with a car like that and it's loud. He'll just tell you to go home. He doesn't want to hear that all day.
Yeah. Nobody wants to.
All right, so
What's up, Hector?
firewall between engine and passenger compartment must be completely sealed. This is factory. This is the firewall. It's sealed. We're good. Any other firewall you have in the car must be completely sealed from the passenger.
So that's like a custom one for the rear and.
I think they're literally number 8. They're literally talking about that. But yeah, if you have any firewall you have, it needs to be protecting you from whatever is on the other side. Lighting and electrical. Next part. Battery must be securely tied down.
That's a fail.
This is a fail. This is a fail. Where's the battery tied up? Nowhere.
Make it easy.
So what's going on when you're drifting? This is what's going on in your car.
Whoa!
Wow! Spark. Boom.
It's right
fire.
here. I have one
So why is it not on the car?
because I was doing something on it, putting underglow on it. But-
Wait, really?
Yeah. Okay. Here's something that I want to add that I've experienced myself. Okay.
Okay.
They sell tie downs where it's a rubber tie down.
Yes.
Don't get those. Get something that is
Metal.
that is going to clamp your battery down. This is a terrible example, and I'm not one to preach, but
Plastic or
it's-
metal strap and proper hardware.
Oh, there we go.
No rubber tie downs.
Oh.
No bungee cords,
Oh.
zip ties, etc. Positive battery terminal of the battery must be insulated.
has-
Another fail.
Another fail. That's that little red thing.
See this? Nothing here. Insulate that.
Insulate yourself.
Okay, if battery is located in driver, here we go. If the battery is located in the driver's compartment, battery must be sealed and non-venting.
That's an Optima red top
Or-
and yellow top or
yeah.
any Marine series. That's a sealed battery.
Non-sealed batteries are allowed in the driver's compartment if they're in a fully sealed box. Okay, so if you have a rear-mounted battery, if it's not in the engine bay anymore, you are going to need to make sure it's a sealed battery. Or if it's a regular battery like
this.
Carl's, then you're going to need a fully sealed battery box in the car. You also need to vent the battery box to the outside of the car.
What?
The sealed battery box needs to be
I
vented.
never knew that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I know. I know a lot of people don't know that, but that is what needs to happen. Okay, number 3, brake lights must be operational. At least 2 brake lights must come on when you use the brake pedal.
Should we go check?
No. You failed. All right.
They work.
Hazard lights at front and rear must be operational. A lot of people, they probably don't even fail for this because Club Loose is so nice and they probably don't check, but they would. There's a lot of cars there that would fail for that. Carl passes. Okay. You must be able to hit the hazard switch while you are strapped into your seat. OE key must completely shut off car immediately. If OE key assembly is not used, a kill switch must be used to immediately shut off car. It needs to be accessible from outside of the car, and the location needs to be clearly marked. Now what they mean, it needs to be accessible from outside of the car, we'll double check this, but it basically means I need to be able to come in here and turn it off. Like from outside the car. I can reach in, I can turn it off. Or if you want to have it mounted out here, a kill switch, that's fine too.
I've seen that before.
But, you know, as long as you can get in here and turn it off and you don't have to, like, you know,
Get
put your whole body in there. Yeah, like, go like,
Reach in where?
Where's the kill switch? Where's the kill switch?
yeah, while you're on fire.
This guy's so athletic.
Okay. All wiring should be protected, insulated, and properly mounted. That's common sense, guys. Come on. Suspension. Number 1, ball joints and suspension bushings must be in good condition and have no excessive play or clunking. Basically, don't bring a hoopty to the track. Make sure it works. There you go. Look at that. Ooh, look at that leg.
Whoa, take it easy.
All right. So we just checked checked over his suspension. It was good.
I just got an alignment here at Faction Motorsport.
You passed. Wheel bearings must have zero play. Again, don't come to the track with a hoopty. Make sure your wheel's not falling off.
That'd be good.
Steering wheel must be smooth in operation and exhibit no binding. So, you know, make sure you can turn the wheel all the way around. I don't know why you would go to the track if that shit was binding, but people might. Number 4, all lug nuts must be present and properly torqued and have proper thread engagement. If using bolt-on spacers, all lug nuts attaching the spacer to the hub must be present. You need all your lug nuts. I know you've been driving it for months with 3 I don't care. This is the track's rules, not your rules. You need all your lug nuts. All right. Number 5, no black wheels.
That's real.
That is number 5.
That's real.
Very controversial. I don't, you know.
Why?
I don't even really
I'll tell you.
I don't like black wheels.
They are forbidden at all Club Loose events under penalty of public humiliation for having no taste. This includes flat black, matte black, gloss black, and time attack style. So guys, this is obviously kind of a funny rule, but yes, if you go there and you're getting your car teched, they might make fun of you, but it's okay. You'll survive. All right, next section. Section is body and glass. Body panels are required. Body panels include fenders, hood. Oh, I love this. Is my favorite rule, and they never enforce it. This is my favorite rule. Body panels are required. Body panels include fenders, hoods, hatches, trunks, all that. You don't need to have your bumpers on or side skirts. They are highly recommended. Basically what they're saying is, can you come to the track looking like a real car and not a total junkyard car?
Yeah.
So make sure your fenders are on, hood's on. All right, if it breaks during drifting, it's whatever, you know, but you gotta, you know, come correct.
I
right?
personally like to try to have all of my aero on as much as possible. I feel like that's a good sign of a good day.
Yeah, and always keep your side skirts on. No one wants to see a 240 with no side skirts on. All right, number 2. Tow hooks or straps are required front and rear. Factory tow hooks are acceptable as long as the driver accepts that their car may be damaged while being towed. What does that mean? Well, where's your tow hook? In the front. Sounds like you never checked this before.
It's right here.
Under here?
Uh-huh.
All right, so what does that mean? They're gonna grab this. The first thing that's gonna happen on Carl's car is all the wiring that's wrapped around this is gonna get ripped off. Because why the fuck do you have wiring wrapped around your tow hook?
It was a temporary thing.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be real temporary when you go off track. They're gonna hook it right here, rip all that out, and they might move this bumper a little bit. See how it moves?
Yeah, you see how hold on.
little
I have a quick
Yeah, it might move. Yeah, it might move a little bit.
It's a quick release system. Come on. No, but really, I would fail not just because there's wiring there, but because I don't have a strap.
No, that's fine.
Is it?
Yes, that is fine.
Really?
As long as you're aware that they're gonna come down here, they're gonna hook this thing up, and they're gonna yank you out, and it might break your bumper.
I personally failed tech because I didn't have a tow hook like visible.
Yeah, it says factory tow hooks are acceptable as long as the driver accepts that their car may be damaged while being towed.
I mean, clearly this is a work in progress.
Tow hook straps should be easily found and painted a highly visible color or mark their locations. Soft tow straps are recommended. That way you can hide it and you can just pull it out when you need it. Number 3, hood and trunk must be securely latched, either using OE latch or aftermarket pins or latches. So basically, make sure your shit's good. I'm glad the camera didn't see that, but
It's an OEM latch.
okay, it
They,
works.
they make that noise.
Windshield must be free of cracks.
No
You got
cracks in your windshield. I failed tech once at Club Loose for this.
How many times have you failed tech?
3.
3 times. Holy shit.
First time I brought a really ugly and really not good put together car there. That's when I learned, okay, be a little stricter, and then I didn't know about the cracked windshield thing.
Yes, do not go to
Read the rule book, okay? I've done this so many times and I
Yeah.
don't want you guys to experience it. Have a good day out there, but no cracks.
Yeah, you
Like-
can't go to the track with a cracked windshield. Not gonna
Yeah.
happen. So don't even. But they might let me slide. No, they're not gonna let you slide. They're done with that.
And don't pull some slick shit like put a bunch of stickers on it.
I mean, you could try.
You could try.
You could
but,
try.
Like, why would you just get the windshield fixed,
You
dude?
could try to be slick, but when you get caught and you tried being slick, they're definitely failing you then.
Yeah, just try to get the windshield fixed. Just abide by the rules.
Okay, let's dive into that a little bit more. The only exception are small cracks around the edges of the window. No cracks can extend past 2 inches from the edge of the windshield. Basically, if you have a crack along the edge, they might let you slide. If you got a crack going right up the middle, you're done. That's it. Go home. That's it. It dives into even more. If you got a cracked windshield or something, Go look at number 4 in the body and glass section. You might pass, you probably won't. Number 5. Windshield, rear window, and fixed side windows must be present. Door windows must be operational if installed. Lexan or similar shatter-resistant polycarbonate can be used. Windshield needs to be a 1/4 inch thick. Windshield must have center supports and be bolted or riveted through the window frame. Basically, number 5 is for all you aftermarket windshield users. So check number 5. Number 6, car should not look like a bag of dicks.
That's number 6?
That's number 6.
So for real, don't even.
Number 6 is another one of my favorite rules.
Wow.
Okay, there's one exception, missile cars. Missile cars are allowed to basically bypass this rule because okay, but here's the problem. People think like they buy a shitty 240 and they're like, this is my missile car. No, that's not your missile car. That's your main car, and it's just shitty. That's what that is. You have a shitty car.
God damn.
A missile car is another car that you have that's a piece of shit on the outside, but it drifts hard as fuck.
Hard as fuck.
Hard as fuck. That car fucking drives way better than your nice car because it's just, you don't give a fuck about it and you just go to the track and you beat the shit out of it.
Oh God.
All right. A car is only a missile car if the driver has another drift car that is sweet. Calling your car a missile car without this means you are cheap and you have no tastes.
Give me.
This is the best rule book there is.
Give me this. No way it says that.
I'm not reading it again.
That is sweet. Come.
That's it. The best rule book there is. All right, we are going to pass the roll cage section for now. We're going to do that on the other car. Next section is harnesses and seats. Okay, you gonna pass this?
No.
Harnesses must be properly mounted. Let's see.
I don't have harnesses.
Okay, so you don't have a harness.
Okay.
So what does that mean? All right, so Carl has a bucket seat, but he has a stock seat belt. So what do you have to do here? You have to, let's go to number 8. If race seats are intended to be used with a stock seat belt, the lap belt part of the seat belt must pass through the holes in the side of the race seat.
That is a fail. You got to run this part through here. What does that mean? You're going to unbolt it right here. You're going to run it through your seat.
And then you could just put the buckle through there.
And you
right?
put the buckle through here.
Yeah, so it's just got to be run through that one.
Aside from you passing tech, I must say, if you utilize the stock lap belt, it definitely does something more than if you were to use it the way that I'm using it right now.
Oh yeah, there's a gap.
There's a gap, and it will keep you in there, and it will work better. So
Yeah.
do that one. That's a good one. I know a lot of people running stock seats. Or stock seat belts with this.
Acceptable seat and harness configurations. Stock seat belt, no cage, that's fine. Reclinable seat that is not FIA approved, stock seat belt, no cage, that's fine as long as you're using stock seat belt. Fixed back race seat, FIA approved. Oh, FIA approval is not required for that seat. Don't worry about that.
Oh, this one is FIA approved, actually.
Stock seat belt, no cage. So if you ran that through there, then you're good.
Yep.
Fixed back race seat with a harness or a harness bar is fine. So let's go to the harness bar thing.
I don't have a harness.
Yeah, I know. But if you did. Ow. Harness bar would be mounted right here. It would come out here, go back here, and you could put your harness. You could strap your harnesses.
There's also
to the
another bar that goes down, isn't
Yeah,
there?
but the whole point is you need to strap the harnesses to a bar back here, whether your cage has one or a harness bar is back here. All right, guys. So we just went through Carl's car. He obviously failed. So we're gonna go through a car that should definitely pass, and it is also an A group car. So we're gonna go through some more rules that we missed. So we're not gonna go through everything, obviously. We just did that on Carl's car, but I'm gonna pick out the things that I think matter. So in engine and drivetrain for this car, heat shield required around the brake and master cylinders for any cars with exhaust side of the engine on the same side as the driver. So let's go check that out. Hello, Chris.
Hi.
I need to inspect. This is what they're talking about. This is a heat shield. We sell these on our website. So you just need to install one of these around the master cylinder because this is a hot exhaust manifold. So if something did break here and all this fluid spilled onto there, that's a fire. So they want something protecting it so you can't get any spillage going over. That's for every single car that has a manifold on the same side as the master cylinder and the clutch master cylinder. All fluids. Let's go over the fuel hoses and all that stuff. Chris, you want to explain that a little bit? Well, basically what we were telling them was the fuel line, obviously.
Yeah, so worm clamps don't work because they chew into the hose.
I'm gonna go get, here, this is for you. I'm gonna go get the clamps.
Okay.
So you're gonna need R9 fuel line. We sell it at the shop. It's not too easy to find, but it could be on Amazon. But yeah, it's, what is it called? 30R9, that's the fuel line you're gonna need. We sell Continental stuff here, fuel injector hose. That's what they call it. You just gotta make sure it says J30R9, SAE. If you go to the track and you don't have that, and I mean, a lot of setups it's gonna be the same as this. It's gonna be an S13 with an SR20. So if they see that fuel line and it's not that one, you just failed. So that's that. This car has the right fuel line, and this is the fuel clamp you will need. This is for a fuel line. It is not a worm clamp. This is just a regular fuel line clamp. Yeah, this is a worm clamp. Why don't you want a worm clamp? Because these can rip the hose. And what happens if you rip the hose? The fuel comes out. What happens if the fuel comes out? You got another fire. Should be common sense, but I understand if you don't do this all the time, it's not common sense. These are also acceptable. These you can find at AutoZone. Another style of fuel hose clamps. And that's every fuel line. That's this one. That's this one coming off of the FPR, and any rubber line that we can see. Now let's go to the back, because this car has a rear mounted battery, so this is a good example. This is a rear mounted battery, obviously. He has a tie down for it. It's secure. The only thing with this is a sealed battery. This is an Optima battery. So you can run this open in this style, in this configuration. If you had a vented battery, which is like most normal car batteries, you are going to need to get a sealed battery box that's vented to the outside of the car. You can run that vent. You can run that vent right down the side and right out the corner. Down here, I know they have the pressure squares in there that let all the pressure out when you shut the door. You could vent it right out there. And but yeah, that would be good. Just make sure the battery's tied down and it's secure. The only last thing we're going to go over today is roll cages. So we're going to have to dive deep into this. Number one, aftermarket 4-point roll bar at a minimum is required for all convertibles for road course events. So that means you need a 4-point roll bar either way if you have a convertible. So keep that in mind. If you have a convertible, you need a roll bar. Number two, 6-point roll cage with harness bar and door bars are required for Group A. That's the group that tandems. Number three, roll cage must have X or NASCAR bars on both front doors. What does that mean? This is an X bar. Why? Because it looks like an X. Very simple. This is pretty low. Usually they're a little higher, but that's an X bar. A NASCAR bar is going to be one bar here, and then little ladders in between connecting them. That's a NASCAR bar. So roll cage must have an X bar or a NASCAR bar on both doors. Number four, must have diagonal and main hoop extending from above driver's head to passenger floor. And harness bar must extend the full length of the main hoop and be positioned for proper harness mounting. Let's go through that. I'm gonna hop right in. Okay. So this is the main hoop. From here to here. That is the main hoop of the cage. Now what are they asking us? Must have a diagonal and main hoop extending from above the driver's head to the passenger floor. Driver's side right here, diagonal bar above his head to the floor. That's good. Harness bar must extend the full length of the main hoop and be positioned for proper harness mounting. From left to right, all the way across. The diagonal goes right through it. Actually, the harness bar goes through the diagonal, but it doesn't matter, I don't think. Actually, it might. You probably want this one to be straight to the floor because this is going to be for structure. The harness bar doesn't need to be that crazy. So that one can get split. Obviously, make sure the harness bar is the right distance from the seat. And make sure it's the right height to mount these harnesses. You want it to be level with the harness holes. Number five, rear mounting bars must tie in at the rear shock tower area. This includes the towers themselves and the immediate adjacent floor if structured. All cage attachment points. You know what? This is what they mean. The bar comes down here to the strut tower. All right. If you got to plate it, you got to plate it. If you're confused about that, read number 5 again. Number 6, front cage design can be a halo or A-pillar bars. Roof bar is required if using A-pillar bars. Let's go over that. All right. So it said front cage design can be a halo or A-pillar bars. A halo is when these bars come around here and it's one bar, it circles. Goes over there, goes the other side. It's one bar, it's like a hoop. This is A-pillar bars. These bars come from the main hoop and they go straight down to the floor. So these are A-pillar bars. So the front cage design can be a halo or A-pillar bars. Roof bar is required if using A-pillar bars. We have A-pillar bars, so we have a roof bar going right here above the windshield. So that's good, we pass. Dash bar is recommended but not required. What they mean is connect a bar from these A-pillar bars under the dash to the other bar. Nissan 240SXs come with a dash bar mounted to the chassis, so we usually never tell the cage guys to put those in. So it's recommended, it's not necessary. Gussets with dimples are recommended because they look awesome. To each their own. Number 9, based plates are required where all tubes meet the chassis and must be welded on all edges. So for example, like the plate we saw on the back where the strut tower was, you need to have plates. Anytime the bar connects to the chassis, you need to have a welded plate there. And then the bar connects to the plate. All tube joints must be fully welded all the way around the tube, guys. You need that weld all the way around the tube. We don't want to see it just tack welded in place. And that thing's going to blow up. Minimum tubing specification for all cars is 1.5 inches. They have the rating there as well. Just make sure you read this, or you tell the guy building your cage to read that information. Number 11. Number 12. Cage must comply with current Formula D or SCCA or NASA specification. I didn't even know that. Basically, the way it's designed, you want to make sure you're doing something that, you know, complies with those current organizations. For bolt-in cages, OE crash structure cannot be removed or modified. Tubing size and design of cage must meet or exceed the requirements of a weld-in cage. Good luck with that, because bolt-in cages are usually not that good. But if you got one that, you know, is made really well, maybe you can pass with it. You got to double check. Roll bar padding is required wherever the driver or passenger may come in contact with the roll cage. So this car is not complete yet, so this would be a fail. If you look down here on the door bar, there's no padding here. So that would be a fail. Actually, there's no padding anywhere in this car. So this car would technically fail right now for no padding, but we have it. We're going to put it in. We're going to put it right here where his head contacts this bar. We're going to put it down here where his arm can contact this, possibly up here where his leg can contact it. You know, you just want to have it everywhere where you could hit it. Why? Because if you hit your head up there hard enough, it's better to hit padded material instead of a tube made out of steel. All right. Also, no pool noodles. Home Depot pipe installation. None of that. So no pool noodles. You need to have SFI rated padding. No, actually you don't. It says you don't. You don't need SFI rated padding, but it's recommended. But you can't use a pool noodle, so just get the correct stuff, guys. If you have any questions or need clarifications on cages, you should contact Club Loose prior to installation of a roll cage. Obviously, you don't want to do all this work and then you mess something up. Their emails are on their website. All their contact info is on there. There's only one more thing I want to add, is the harnesses. Actually, you know what? Let's go outside. So I just wanted to show you guys an example of the padding. So if you look up here, there is padding. This is the kind of padding we use. So this cage was real tight to the driver because he left the headliner in. So this pad is right above the driver's head so he doesn't smash his head on this. This one's on the side, the main hoop. Usually the main hoop's not this close, but in this situation it is. But yeah, just wanted to show you an example of what the padding looks like. Okay, this is comfortable. All right, guys, harnesses. A 4, 5, or 6 point harness is required for a car with a roll cage. These are the harnesses in this car are 4 point harnesses. I like to use 4 point harnesses because I don't have the one going right between my legs and holding, you know, real tight. I don't like that one. I just like the 4 point ones. But nothing's wrong with a 5 point. Now, you got to make sure you mount these correct, guys. It's going to be so hard for me to explain this when they're already installed. Basically, read the instructions that come with your harnesses. They usually tell you how to do this. But basically, there's a certain procedure to how you want to wrap this around here. And you want to make sure you get it right. Another thing you can do, as you can see, this is what you're going to end up with after you're done tying it down. You don't really want that hanging around back here. So what you can do is you can tie it up like this with a zip tie. Keep it out of the way. That's what we usually end up doing. Maybe putting some kind of rubber band around it, something that's going to hold it there. But yeah, double check the way you mount these. Okay, so the eye bolt's holding in this harness. So we have an eye bolt here. Hard to see, maybe impossible to see, but there's an eye bolt there, probably supplied with a harness. We threaded this one right into the stock seatbelt mounting point. They're usually the same thread pitch. So that one is fine. What did we do with the other side? We put that in the stock threaded hole from Nissan as well. So one eye bolt, and then you just route them through these holes in the seat, and you're good. That's it. Now, if you have a car that doesn't have a threaded hole there, that's when you're gonna have to use some common sense and figure out where you want to put that and how do you want to mount it, because you're gonna need something to support the load from the back. You're gonna need to spread it out. You know, whether you want to weld in a nut that you can thread the eye bolt to, that would work. You might have a setup where you can actually use a regular bolt. If you don't have any of that and you have to drill holes in the floor, you can do that. Just make sure you read the rules. You need something spreading the load underneath when you tighten it down. But yeah, that's really it. Another thing to mention, which I don't know if it's in the rule book or not because I didn't see it, but make sure your seat is tight. This seat is very sturdy. I'm shaking the entire car right now on the lift. Make sure your seat is like that. If it's loose, they're gonna fail you. I don't know if it's in here or not, but I know they're gonna fail you, or they're gonna tell you to fix it. And if you can't fix it, you're screwed. So you definitely wanna make sure your seat is tight. If it's not tight, fix it. Find a way to fix it. Don't go to the track like that. If there's any other little things in here, I saw something down here, B group, additional requirements. Car must have coilovers or similar. Oh wow, coilovers. So B group, they want you to have coilovers. They don't want you to have lowering springs. It kind of makes sense. I mean, if you're on lowering springs, you're kind of a new driver. So I guess they want you to have a more serious suspension setup. They also say no VLSDs or factory diffs allowed. They want clutch type diffs or welded diffs. I kind of understand that. If you have a VLSD, there's chances that it can come unlocked, and that could throw you off drift. If you have an open diff, congrats on making it to B group with an open diff. I don't know how you did that. But yeah, VLSD or open diffs, not allowed in B group. Number 4 in the B group additional rules, all cars must have a working e-brake. It can be OEM or aftermarket hydraulic, so make sure your e-brake works. A group requirements. These requirements are in addition to the other ones. You need a 6-point roll cage with a harness bar and door bars, if you want a tandem. Roll cage must meet all rules. We just went over that. Okay, this is an important one. Containment head restraint seat or a Hans device is required. This is new. Well, it's new for me because I haven't drifted in 3 years. It's not that new. So this is a head restraint system, like this. So this will pass for A group. If you have a normal seat, it's not going to pass for A group anymore. You either need a Hans device, which is basically a neck brace that connects to your helmet, or you need a head restraint seat like this. That is what you need at tandem at Club Loose. And that's really it. So, yeah. Now,
Consensus, my car failed.
Oh, yeah, this car failed.
Easy. I'm going home.
He's going
sad.
home. Mostly because of the
tie down,
the battery tie down.
Tie down, the seat, belt, routing.
He's going home and he might not even get a refund.
Nah, hell no. You can't go home and not have read the rules and expect a refund.
Yeah, because why do you expect a refund? You went there, you wasted their time, you sat in tech, and now you expect a refund? Not happening. It might happen if you're lucky.
You're doing high level racing. Treat it like a high level responsibility.
like that.
Do you?
No. All right. So, all right, guys. That is our Club Loose Tech Inspection video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments because we would love to answer them. That's pretty much what we do here. We tech inspect cars that come in before they go to Club Loose and make sure they're good to go. We also offer this service at the shop, so if you want to pay us to make sure your car's good, you know, feel free to email us.
Thanks for seeing how good my car is.
You failed.
It's a work in progress.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Check us on the next one.
Check us out.